Assalamualaikum Prof. Now I and my friend will present about our case study topic, which is Malaysia showed support for Bosnia-Herzegovina during the 1992 until 1995 Balkan War. What is the form of Malaysian support? So before we start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Faznal bin Abdurrahman and I will present the introduction. Okay, the Bosnian War began with the collapse of Yugoslavia in 1991. After the collapse of Yugoslavia, the political and economic life of its subordinate countries lost directions. In its development, the subordinate countries of Yugoslavia, such as Croatia, Slovenia, Macedonia, and Bosnia, began to consider themselves as their country. The cause of the development that led to the conflict until the outbreak of the Bosnian War was the ethnic, cultural, and religious difference between Bosnia and Serbia. Okay, next was Serbia dominance over social life and subsequently Bosnia's strategic positions in the context of economic and political activity. The war was an international armed conflict that took place in Bosnia-Herzegovina between 1992 and 1995. Okay, since the war in Bosnia-Herzegovina was a probability of great ethnic and instability in Yugoslavia at the time and a consequence of the intervention of neighboring countries, this led to a protracted debate over whether the conflict was a civil war or war of aggression. Most Bosnians and Croats, Western politicians and human rights organizations thought that this war was a war of aggression by the Serbs, while the Serbs thought that this was a civil war. Okay, next about Malaysia foreign policy. Malaysia foreign policy is similar to the foreign policy of most countries in the world. Malaysia's foreign policy is implemented in response to neighboring countries or countries far from it. This policy is more concerned with the interests of a country other than to maintain relation with other countries for certain reasons. Okay, Malaysia also stand firm in its stand against any violations of human rights, especially in a sovereign country. This we can see from Malaysia stance and involvement in the United Nations peacekeeping force since becoming a member of the international body since 1957. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone, especially to our lecturer, Professor Wan Syahuluddin. So my name is Shafiq. My metric number is VA19110072. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about what did Malaysia do, what type of aids that Malaysia provide to the Bosnian Herzegovina crisis. Okay, so one of the things that Malaysia do is Malaysia dispatch their armed forces under the UN mission on October 1st, 1993 under the command of Major General Dato' Mat Hashim Hussein. The team that they sent is also known as Malbat 1, which consists of 996 members. Malbat 1 aims is to prevent people from starvation, provide medical aids, assist the ill, and to be prepared to face armed conflict even if they are not involved in military operation. Some of other activities or duties that they carried by Malbat is they assist the Bosnian so that they could live normally as possible. They also engage in social activities such as building schools, bridges, so that the Bosnian standard of living will be increased, so that it will be convenient for them to continue their daily life activities. Because of Malaysian efficiency, This effort was actually recognized by the UN because two of Malaysian officers were appointed as one of them was appointed as the 4-star general, and the other one got appointed as 1-star general. This is such a huge deal for Malaysia. Malaysia also dispatched their armed force under UN mission in response to the resolution 776 of the UN mission in 1992. So the resolution in turn was the result of an appeal by the UNHCR so that they can increase the support of humanitarian convoy to Bosnia. So as March 1st, 1996, the Maltan team was improved from 1996 to 1533 recruits. So the number of participants increased significantly, and they renewed their team name from Malbat 1 to Malkon 1. Malcolm One rules were pretty much the same as their previous rule, which is they want to help the Bosnian people in any sort of way. And lastly, from me, it is also estimated that Malaysia spent almost RM 94 million to finance the armed force expenditure in UN peacekeeping mission in Bosnia Herzegovina. So that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Next, let us have a look at Malaysia foreign policy towards Bosnia-Herzegovina from 1992 until 1995. As we all aware by now, the Malaysia government, led by Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, was against Herzegovina action toward Bosnian during the Bosnia-Herzegovina conflict. One can say that Mahathir actions led by material factors such as religion, but we can all agree that the acts of human rights have not been shown toward Bosnian, which led to the death of 200,000 Bosnian war victims and almost 2 million lost their home. That being said, Mahathir has completely changed Malaysia's foreign policy toward Bosnia and Herzegovina during this period. The matter had been discussed in Malaysia Parliament, where they came up with several resolutions. One of them are Malaysia condemn the invasion and all human rights violations on Muslims in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Mahathir believed that no countries had the right to cross the border based on race, descendant, and religion, and for that reason, Malaysia condemned anything that associates with the invasion and all human rights violations on Muslims in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Number 2, Malaysia urged the UN Security Council to withdraw the arms embargo which was imposed on Bosnia and pressed France and British not to block this effort. There are several reports that show that the Serbians had tried to send their warplanes and armies to Bosnia, and yet the America tried to hide the truth and was let the Serbians do what they want. In response, Mahathir urged the UN Security Council, especially the America, to withdraw the arms embargo which had been imposed onto Bosnia.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Doctor, my name is Alekshan Tianoksunga, BA 192711133. And for today's Malaysia's foreign policy presentation, I'll be talking about Malaysia's engagement in Bosnia and Herzegovina. This event or phenomenon happened during Dr. Mahathir's administration, and the engagement took place during the ethnically rooted Bosnian War in 1992 to 1995. In 1st October 1993, under the support of the UN, United Nations, Malaysia dispatched their own armed forces with over 1,500 Malaysian troops for peacekeeping operations such as prevent war escalation, provide medical assistance, to prevent starvation, and also a preparation for armed conflict, regardless if they were not the countries that were involved. They also provided humanitarian aids and social activities such as building schools to increase the living standard of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Malaysia's intervention or support came at the rise because of the violation of basic human rights, such as ethnic cleansing and genocide, that occurred during the Bosnian War against, which is most commonly seen, against Bosnian Muslim community. Such as the large portion, or as an illustration, unfortunate illustration would be the large portion of Bosnian women being raped by Serbian troops. Overall, the victims that unfortunately fell during this event was over 200,000 people, innocent people. Malaysia was the only Asian country to accept Bosnian refugee at this given time, and with the support of OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, in 1995 they were able to give certain measures and aid for this newly independent country, Bosnia and Herzegovina. They were also able to establish economic bilateral trades to improve the relations between Bosnia and Malaysia, and also their economic by sending them electronics and other things. Other than that, they also gave opportunities for Bosnian students to study in Malaysia by giving them scholarship. And that's it for me all for today for the engagement of Bosnia and Herzegovina by Malaysia. Thank you for listening and watching.
Hello and a very good day. I bid to Dr. Wan Shawaludin. I am Eleanor Juliet and Somus will present the conclusion part. There are some factors that prompted Malaysia to become more actively and deeply involved in Bosnian foreign policy. Firstly, they were driven by frustration with the United States as well as the United Nations in stopping the war from going on in Bosnia. Next, because of the failure and inaction of the United States and the United Nations has made Malaysia play an important role in helping to stop the war. The double standards and favoritism shown by the United States and the United Nations have boosted Malaysia's morale and strength to fight for Bosnia and challenge the international organization as a peacekeeper. Although Malaysia does not have the modern equipments like the United States and other Western countries, but the fighting spirit shown by Malaysia has helped Bosnia to stop the war in their own way. The war that took place in Bosnia-Herzegovina was a war from the outbreak of conflict between the Serbs, Croats, and Bosnian Muslims. The cause of this war because of religious issues where Serbs and Croats had Islam. Why did the Malaysia help the Bosnian? Malaysia's involvement in helping the Bosnian state is due to the cruelty and oppression that took place against the Muslim community in Bosnia. However, Malaysia's involvement in helping the Bosnian had received criticism from the Western powers because it involved in religion, and the involvement of the Malaysian military in peacekeeping missions is considered jihad. Besides, Malaysia also has openly criticized and exposed to the world the attitude of the United States and other Western countries that are often erratic in creating peace in Bosnia. Next, the military involvement from Malaysia in Bosnia has also been based on Malaysia's foreign policy to assist Bosnian country. The sacrifices that had made by Malaysia in helping Bosnia make the Bosnian people happy and will remember all the services and commitments made by Malaysia by helping Bosnia achieve peace through the signing of the Dayton Agreement in 1995. Thank you.